as well from Mercy can just leave the other team in disarray.
When we talk about pharmacies on control, it's all about winning that first fight, George. You need to be in control so that you can pummel the opposing team as they come through those tight chokes that you mentioned. If you can't have control as a pharmacy, it's far harder to try and take this point than it is to defend it with that particular composition, because you've got to fly low or go around the outside and then have a less of an optimal angle to try and spam into your enemies and get that damage done to build up towards a barrage.
Well, here they go, rolling out the gate already. Japan coming out with the Hanzo and with Depp actually on the McCree instead. Widow not so great on this map, so it's not too much of a surprise. Mistakes and Shadowburn, they're going to do something a little bit different with Shadowburn running that far out.
Anakin going to be coming out on the Hanzo. He's got his eyes on the skies. He's got his eyes on Shadowburn as well, but can't quite connect there. He's going to settle for a couple of rockets, or rather a couple of arrows onto the tank line. Japan have already found themselves buying space, but Tonic trying to deny them such.
Yeah, Samurai D in the corner there, you can see, doing a good job of helping them push round. Mistakes is already going to go down to the Storm Arrow of Anakin, and that does mean with one DPS down, in fact a tank down as well now for Japan, they're actually going to be able to push forward. Russia in disarray, it seems, doesn't like that Zenyatta. Almost got picked off, although Anakin just sparing his life for the time being. Resurrection onto Tonic, so they only need to wait for one member.
Japan there forced to make a choice. They could either stay on the point and try and make sure they can consolidate that capture, or they could go out and challenge Aang as he got the res. Japan decided to take the safe option, keep Samurai D on the point and make sure that he was safe. Shadowburn here with a pocket, trying his best to go up against Depp, but neither of them is going to take that fight for long.
This boy is so damn accurate already. Tonic is going to fall to Depp. And now Amaken moving forward, trying to get a bit of ult charge. You can see he did manage to hit Shadowburn in air. He's going to get healed up rather quickly, and that does net Aang with an ultimate also. But he's going to have to match Claire with a Valkyrie as well. And I want to keep an eye on Depp again, because look, now he has this Deadeye. If he sits up on this high ground, it's going to be so hard for Shadowburn and Aang to enter with that Valkyrie.
Well, let me tell you something about Russia, Jaws. Right now, if Shadowburn demands so much attention from Aang to try and keep up with the damage that Depp is putting out, it means that healing isn't available for the rest of Russia. They've used the Valkyrie, so the beam splitting is there.
Deadeye is there from Depp, but he uses it for a mere reload for the time, and you can see mistakes on the sidelines also. Anakin launches the dragon straight in on top of Tonic, ends up falling, and there goes Chow as well. Samurai D holding fast straight on top of that point. No one gets past this man.
Aang left to have another resurrection here, which means Tonic's moving back onto a point. It's a little bit dangerous for Samurai D to go forward. He's trying to knock Tonic off.
Oh, nice hammer to the ground by Tonic, but he lets down the shield for a moment. Gets headshotted by Anakin as he does unleash the arrow. Shadowburn is going to come up with a kill also. In fact, too, as Anakin falls down, but you can see now he is retreating. He has to fall back. He doesn't really have this front line, this tankiness from the rest of his squad. They are coming back from the spawn, and Chow has the grab still.
Yeah, he does. That's going to be absolutely imperative to use. Mistakes can try and combine it with the Deadeye here, but we've got to worry about Samurai D with that shield. Tonic's going to have to run through with a charge, but it's inside.
There's the grab straight on top of Kenmo. Depp is going to take out Aang, and in fact, Anakin picking up another kill. Samurai D just pushing forward now, trying to punish Chow for every step he makes. He is going to go down as the Discord Orb landed on top of him. Overtime was not enough for Mistakes to get on the point. Oh my goodness, he managed to take out Depp in the end, but it wasn't quite enough. University goes to Japan 100-0.
100-0, Jaws. Do not sleep on Pacific. They are definitely here to prove that. Maybe a little bit of a problem there for Claire, but I don't think there are any problems with his gameplay. It's been perfect thus far. I don't think we've actually seen Claire die.
Immortal is the man in the white there. Those Japan jerseys looking pretty clean as well.
Oh yeah, definitely going to be buying one of those later.
Looks like we're jumping over to Gardens as our next map, and hey, what's good on Gardens?
More
Is
Farah.
that Farah.
Indeed, but you know what else is good at shutting down a Farah? A Widowmaker, Jaws. And that's exactly what we said Depp would be fantastic at, but he's got his work cut out for him, because not only is he worrying about Shadowburn up in the air, he's worrying about mistakes all over the place. Not just down on the ground, but he can go for soak shots, he can be up in the air, he can be down in the ground, he can be round a corner on a flank. Depp's going to have to watch all of these as we move in towards a point.
Amaken on the Farah versus Shadowburn. We've already seen what Shadowburn can do today on this Farah. So many direct rockets. Amaken going very low, actually hits the floor, and Mistakes punishes him for it as well. Beautiful angle there coming through from the Widowmaker from Russia. Does mean they're going to get out to priority here. You see Japan instantly backing off. As soon as they lose one member, they know they cannot win the fight.
Depp was playing that far more passively for Mistakes. Mistakes went forward knowing he would have the support of his tank line and his supports, whereas Japan, they sort of all came through in a single angle. They put more resources into making sure Amaken could stay for a while.
Mistakes coming up. clutch on Depp, does find the headshot, is going to get jumped on. However, that grappling hook on the 8-second cooldown isn't going to be too much a worry for him. However, with Amaken finding Shadowburn here, he's a bit out of way. Also, that does mean there's no resurrection going to be there. Shadowburn extremely still dead, and then we do have mistakes available with that Infocytes. He's not going to use it just yet, although you can see Amaken just pummeling the back line. Tonic forced to retreat, didn't have the bubble, and ends up going down. And now Amaken's just farming heads, and in fact, Mistakes is going to do exactly the same thing. Problem is, Depp was there to match him with the kill, and now he's on the high ground. No way Eng is going to be able to survive this one. Just buying more time, 37%. Make that 38 for the side of Russia as Japan get the recap.
But now this is the hardest place for a Pharmacy combo to be, to try and take back a point. Like we said at the beginning of University, it's so much easier to defend with a Pharmacy than it is to attack. And now Japan are exactly where they want to be. And Depp, he's got this Infrasight. He's popped it slightly after Mistakes as well, so he's going to run out slightly later. He's going to have an advantage for just a couple of seconds. Mistakes has been caught out, Jaws.
Early Valve for Eng as well. Cannot get on top of Mistakes. He is going to get pocketed, though only just. Amaken finishes him off with a rocket, self-destruct on the point. DMX Chow out of the mech, can't do much at all in the Baby Diva form. And you can see Depp somehow still alive. There's like 4 people jumping on him, but the rest of Team Japan jumps on him and saves him with good measure, and he is able to build up to another Emphasize very soon. 32% already for Amaken, was pummeling the front line. You could see Russia, just so many resources actually used to try and kill Depp there, that Amaken was just free to lay down rocket after rocket.
Depp there was channeling his in again. He was going all over the place. He was able to avoid 2 tanks, and not only that, he baited Chow down into the self-destructive Kenmo, which meant that he was absolutely quickly DMX'd, and now Amaken's looking for a way in with this barrage. They have forced out the Transcendence, which is a perfect scenario here for Japan. That's not going to be available for Russia now.
Samurai D activating the Primal Rage. Tonic's going to do exactly the same thing, but he finds a kill with it already. Amaken gets met in the skies as Shadowburn is there with the final rocket to finish him off. And now it's all about a game of ultimates. Japan not using any of theirs just yet. They know this barrage will be better saved for another fight. They're just going to jump on the point and hopefully die on it to make sure they buy each individual percent. 80% now for Japan as it does flip over to Russia once more.
In the midst of that chaos, Depp did win out the sniper duel again against Mistakes. He's here to show everyone exactly what he is made of. But now Japan are in the hot seat. They are 15% away from winning Oasis, but they still need to win one fight, and Russia are coming up on a couple of ultimates. They have the barrage ready. They have the self-destruct. We know what Chow can do with these, and they have the Valkyrie as well. But Japan, they're going to match Valkyrie for Valkyrie. They can match barrage for barrage, and Depp, he's already used his Infrasights.
It's how quickly he's getting them. Mistakes is only on 70% now, and Depp actually wins that duel also. But Shadowburn, 2-timing rocket onto Claire is going to take him out of the skies. Japan are going to sit on the point, almost cap it in fact. That's about 2/3 of the way. Amaken's ult gets almost completely eaten, turns away from the Diva, but still ends up going down. Fragile in the air as he, his main does end up throwing a couple of orbs his way. And now Sabagod retreating also. Japan, they do have one more fight in them. 82% now available for Russia. Does mean they are having one fight territory right now. Japan need to be able to clutch it out in the end, but they've only got that self-destruct.
An unfortunate mistake there for Claire. I think as he got double tapped by the rockets from Shadowburn, he did pop his Valkyrie. Speaking of double taps, Shadowburn going to be putting one onto Amaken. Depp's going to have to try and figure this one out by himself, but the res has come through from Claire, and now overtime is in session.
Infosight's there for Mistakes as well. He's got his eyes on the prize, and he's got his eyes on the background as well. Misses the shot, and Sabagod, he does manage to hit the body shot, but Amaken's there to save him. Transcendence on the point also coming through from Russia, but another beautiful Shadowburn rocket coming through onto Kenmo's mech. Does get demeched in the end, but Shadowburn, look, he's retreating now. 6 HP, no dreams left either. Gets chased down by Samurai D. Overtime is there, and Russia end up getting team killed. Japan are going to reclaim the point.
And now Japan are in one fight territory to claim their first map here in the Overwatch World Cup. They could go up 1-0 here in Oasis if they can hold this for one more fight. Russia are coming in. They don't have many ultimates. They got a self-destruct. Mistakes has moved over. He no longer wants to play on the Widow. Instead, he's on the Tracer. Main's over from the Zenyatta onto the Lucio, bringing everyone back fast, but Depp's already put him down.
Depp's already clicked on Mistakes head. He's going to fall. Main is going to go down as well. The Lucio change over from the Zenyatta's already dead. Self-destruct catches Amaken a little bit off guard, but Depp is still alive on the sideline. Shadowburn's also dead. Mistakes now coming back from spawn, but it might be too little, too late.
Rest in pieces.
Depp just killing member after member right Russia is just going to fall here. Depp solo carrying this endpoint 99%, and now it's a trickling of members coming through for Russia. Chow eventually goes down. Main just melts in the face of that rocket barrage, and Depp high and dry up in the sky. Japan secure Oasis.
Russia looked so powerful earlier. They took the 4-0 against Hong Kong, but against the might of Japan, not quite so powerful. 2-0 on Oasis, carried forth by not only DPS play, but fantastic support play and fantastic tank play as well. Kenmo there, being incredibly useful on the D.Va, always making sure he's in the right place. Samurai bought so much room. I don't think we saw Sabagor die. The guy just threw out orb after orb. You can see that Depp there is very happy with himself, and you should be.
Yeah, Samurai D is having a little chuckle as well. He knows what he did.
You know what you did.
Depp was the guy that the entire team said, you know, who's going to pop off, and they all kind of pointed and looked at him and said, yeah, Depp is the guy
this
to
guy's
watch.
gonna pop off.
He did just that. The reason why these Widows can do such things is because you got people like Samurai D on your side. Like, he's protecting you through in and out. Even Sabagod didn't really die too much on the Zenyatta. Always had the back of his Widow player, just making sure he get the Discord orbs and the Harmony orbs where necessary. And that Discord orb is so strong also. A nice body shot with a Discord orb on a tank, that's not a lot of health remaining.
Yeah, Shadowbone was always under pressure in the sky, whether it was from Kenmo, from Depp, or from Amakin going in for a 1 versus 1 in the air with a Pharah. They tend to trade out rather evenly. Shadowburn occasionally managed to get clear with the old double tap and managed to finish off Amakin when he was in a less of an ideal situation. Like we saw Amakin do 2 shots onto a D.Va mech and really damage himself. That meant that a 1 shot coming through from Shadowburn could take him out.
Got to change off the Pharah, man. If you're going against Depp, there's no way you can have that Pharah out there. And even Aang was a little bit scared as well. Did get taken out of the air a couple of times by Depp. However, it is going to be Russia's map pick now for the first time today.
And we're going to be moving over to Hybrid. They've got the choices of Eichenwald, Kings Row, Blizzard World, or Numbani. And given what we know about the compositional structure that we could see out of Russia, I think Numbani would probably be a good idea. You could go on those dive DPS, you could put mistakes on Tracer, put Shadowburn on Genji, just let them do what they do.
Might be the best also because then you don't have to play Depp on his Widowmaker. Does it look like it's going to be Eichenwald, however, chosen by Russia. Okay, so you can play a lot of fire on this, so we want to see Shadowburn maybe on that. You don't normally see defensive Widows, but if Depp's on fire right now, just put him on it. He's going to click people.
Yeah, Depp is going to click on people, but we know that Mistakes and Shadowburn want to do exactly that as well. Maybe they'll be feeling a little bit frustrated after that map 1, need to sort of like regain some honor.
Regain some honor, exactly that. And I want to say, he did say, Depp, in the pre-interviews that I look up to Carpe, and you can see why. Clearly studying Carpe's positioning and timing of the Widowmaker grapple just so well, coming out with kills like that. A little bit of a highlight reel at the end of it. But look on the side of Russia, already won 4-0 today. You got to say they've got a lot of fuel in their tanks still left to burn.
Yeah, they can still go for more, and of course this is their map pick, so we can assume they've got some special plans being cooked up here. The question is, what does Japan have here? We do know that they are a full team, Cyclops, Athlete Gaming, so we can imagine that they've scrimmed this map quite extensively across their contender seasons. I'm not sure if it's in the Pacific pool.
Well, talking about scrims, in fact, we did talk to them and say, you know, who have you been practicing against? Who do you normally practice against? Obviously, they said a lot of those Pacific teams, but they also practice a couple of Korean teams as well. People like Runaway also, and in fact, Depp said himself, you know, he's pretty good when it comes matches up against people like Stitch, and you can kind of see why already. They are going to be on the defense first, and doesn't look like we're going to see Amakin on that Pharah. No surprise, honestly. We do see it a whole bunch as the clock tower provides so much defense.
Yeah, running around that clock tower, or the flying or floating around that clock tower as the Pharah is one of your main sort of source of defense on this first point as the aerial DPS, because you can always play around a different angle. You know that if a Widowmaker's coming for you can get some information coming through from your team to tell you where the Widowmaker is, and then you play on the opposite side of a tower. You just pummel down on tanks or the backline, whatever you think would be good as a target.
Well, speaking of targets, I mean, I want to see Mistakes run this Hanzo, just go full in. We know how good they are at dive DPS, and it might be something they want to switch up to in a second as soon as they see Depp on this Widowmaker. The best thing about, the easiest thing about killing a Widowmaker, well, you just dive on her with loads of dive DPS, and a Genji just trying to get a deflect or something, right?
She's only got 200 health, boys.
Exactly. 200 health and a grapple to get her out of there. You force that, it's pretty much a free kill.
Absolutely. Speaking of free kills, Shadowburn's currently got his eyes on Amakin, but it's not going to be 3 at all. He does have a damage boost, but he's not managing to connect the shot, so going to have to reuse those boosters, go back over, and now Amakin's ready to try and challenge him out. But you can see here what we talked about, the use of architecture as a Pharah to give yourself that perfect cover. You can't have shields up in the air unless like a Winston comes up and drops one. So instead, you've got to try and use architecture to your advantage.
Exactly that. Well, they know Depp has and is on the Widowmaker right now. He's hit a couple of shots, up to 40% charge already. Samurai D taken fairly low by Shadowburn, doing a good job of that, but a direct rocket from Shadowburn will send him packing for the time.
Indeed it will. Shadowburn still looking for these rockets, but he's not being able to claim much purchase yet. One onto Anakin, he's looking for the second, but the healing is there, and so is Depp.
He was waiting for him as soon as he reached around that clock tower. Instant kill. Chow does take out Samurai D. And remember, Japan don't have the spawn advantage here. It will be in the favor of Russia. And they are going to get the resurrection onto Shadowburn. Extremely low is the Mercy. And Depp has actually spotted out theirs. End going extremely low. Can't quite get him just yet. But he has got those emphasized.
Chow there did a great job of denying the res from Claire by going in with a boot. They couldn't quite finish off the kill, but it did mean that Samurai was staying down. You can see right there, these return to the fray. Looking for a deep dive into the bag, but who needs it? Depp once again just showing off.
Look how aggressive he's playing as well, just didn't really care. His tanks were airborne also, so Shadowburn had two options there. He needed to get away, yes, but he was either looking towards the tanks or trying to dislodge Depp. He chose tanks and Depp ended up killing him.
Choose one and you'll lose to the other. Japan here have already held for 2 minutes and 45 seconds and they've got 4 ultimates to their name. Samurai's coming up on one quickly, as is Depp. This looks absolutely unbreakable here. But Russia, they do have the self-destruct to try and blow this wide open.
Well, this is why we're talking about the synergy from the team, as they are a full team in the Pacific Contenders slot. Anakin has got Rocket Barrage, like you just very well mentioned. Depp almost hitting that headshot, very close once again. Already Shadowburn punishing Anakin there for going for a little bit of a too risky of a Rocket Barrage.
In too deep to res as well. Claire tried, it was risky, and Shadowburn got him too, but Eng's down, and that may well start to even things up. Mistakes coming deep on the Tracer.
He wants to kill Depp, that's all he wants to do. Mistakes is going to go down
Nice
though to a bomb. Kembo finds the kill easy. Tonic chasing Depp. In fact, he's going to use that Primal Rage,
Back to
but
the Mercy,
already
though.
is a Mercy. No, she's flying away. 6 HP, there we go. Finally got him. Claire, he's got your back.
He does indeed, but Chow is on the point, so Samurai is going to need some help here. Up into the sky goes to self-destruct, and Anakin around the tower. Great evasion there from the Farah.
Chow does get the remake and is going to go back onto that point, and now he's going to focus down Depp. He's also got someone else in his sight. Sabagod is going to fall. Chow trades his mech for 2 kills. That's perfect for Russia.
And now Shadowburn has the barrage in his back pocket. He's got his eyes on Anakin. He's got the first rocket. Can he get the second? There it is. It's a clean sweep for Russia. They took their time with it, Jaws, but they have capped first point.
They only had 1 minute remaining. That adds up to about 3 minutes and 20 seconds now. They do need to move through the gate. No swap-ups here for Japan. They want to just keep on this Farah Widow DPS combo, but mistakes. He's got the pulse bomb, and they've even got a support ultimate awaiting for them too. Sabagod hasn't got his yet, 10% away.
Mistakes knows that he can potentially stick a target easily if they're looking over onto the low ground and don't expect him coming back. Sabagod would probably be his main target here. Can try and take him out before that Transcendence. Here he goes in with the pulse pistols, not using it this time. Can he force a trans? Doesn't matter. Managed to take him out before that's the case.
Oh, the pulse bomb! Oh, it just got him as well! He dived into it! Oh! Didn't quite get the stick, but corralled him straight into the line of sight. Anakin's going to take out Shadowburn, however, and there is a resurrection onto Depp also.
Indeed, there is mistakes, just cleaning up the pieces. Depp finds himself all alone, can try to grapple out, and Tonic not brave enough to try and finish that one out, but mistakes, he's feeling a little bit braver.
He's feeling extremely brave. Sabagod is going to punish him for it. Mistakes taking out Dead. That's a big DPS boon now down for the side of Japan. Tonic is going to corral the point with that Primal Rage. In fact, back up to the high ground. That resetting of the jump always gets me sometimes.
And it feels like this payload Jaws has been moving uncontested thus far. Japan have never really got the ideal sort of fight that they wanted, so they couldn't get on the cart. Main's already down, but he's been traded out for Depp, and still the cart is moving. You need to contest Japan.
Chow sent in another Diva Bomb to try and get the Farah. This time around, she did dip into the moat of the castle and just survived. Shadowburn is going to take out Claire once more, and that will be a big self-destruct on the point again. It does actually force out the Transcendence here. Russia are going to have to move forward it rather quickly. Anakin falls, and that'll be Depp taken out main. He's jumped onto his Tracer of his own, wants to show mistakes what he's made of.
Mistakes here, going to be playing Gatekeeper, trying to make sure people can't get onto the car, but the tank line of Japan is there. Anakin's made an emergency swap over, wants to go on the Brigitte, and they're trying to bring this back.
They're still doing it, they're touching the car, making sure it doesn't get delivered to those gates. Samurai ID taking out Chow's mech. Kemmo there to actually finish them all up. Mistakes escapes with an inch of HP, but it will be the forced reset here for Russia.
Some great play there from the tank line of Japan, but Deb's getting a little bit greedy there, but Main's going to shut you down. Oh.
Not when you want to be with a Tracer.
You can't test Zenyatta's, man.
Nope. A headshot, easy. Even with a Discord Orb, you're pretty much there. There's no way you're actually going to survive that. And with that, man advantage. Japan are going to get forced back. Deb has spawned and he has got the pulse bomb available, but to give up a lot of space to Russia. Shadowburn with the ultimate still has to use it very wisely, as we do have Emikin actually on the Brigitte now, who can maybe finish him off with a whip shot. In the back line, Main is extremely vulnerable, but to the rescue comes his Mercy, but you can't quite rescue him from that. No healing going to do it for you, but Eng, look at that aggressive res. Chow was there to protect him for the entire time, and he managed to kill Deb. Self-destruct onto the point, finds two, Kenmo dead, Sabogod goes down also, and Shadowburn with the victory barrage is going to find the last kill onto Amiken and deliver the point to the castle.
Chow putting on a highlight reel there, he goes in for a body block, he defends Eng during a stupidly aggressive res, or a super aggressive res, shall we say. It's not stupid if you trust in Chow, I trust in Chow, he's fantastic. And then he gets the kill onto Deb, moves forward with the self-destruct, gets the supports as well, and secures the point for Russia, who now have 1 minute and 43 seconds to try and push through a third point of Eichenwald. But Japan, they're going to try and mix things up a little. They're going 3-3.
3-3 in the castle, extremely hard to deal with, but not too hard for Shadowburn. Transcendence now forced out from Sabogod. Does mean everybody's nice and healthy for the time, but Shadowburn still uncontested in mid-air on this Farah. Kenmo finds Chow's mech and finds Chow himself, but with Sabogod dead, Tonic's going to have to come up clutch here. Finishes off Samurai ID with a Goomba Stomp. They are on the cart still, but this 3-3 is incredibly hard to actually dislodge.
Tonic doing a great job there of isolating Samurai D out of range of his healers, because all of them were proximity-based healers. And now Anakin does have a rally, but everyone's falling down before he can get to them. Shadowburn just rocket after rocket, trying to break people down. He's brought up towards this barrage door, so now we can try and lock down one of these points of ingress as Japan comes through. They're coming in with a rally, but look, Shadowburn is ready to go.
Hiding on the chandelier, doesn't want to mess with a Diva, but wants to mess with a Zarya. Shield instantly eaten there by the rockets. Self-destruct coming out also onto the point. It's going to kill Tonic. He didn't have bubble up in time, so couldn't shield the rest of his team. Eng there with the emergency res. Still, Tonic in the back line all alone. Has to be very careful when another bubble comes down, but Shadowburn is alive and did take out Kenmo also. The Graviton Surge onto the point. This is the ultimate they were looking for, and it does manage to kill Tonic and help kill off Shadowburn as well. Deb comes up big in the end. This Zarya, very, very strong. If he's a good Widow, good Tracer, of course he's going to be a good Zarya as well.
Well, going a little bit close. Two of those pulse storms coming out from mistakes, but isn't going to be falling this time. Only just 300 damage now. Won't one-shot Yazaya, and now Depp is moving forward so aggressively, looking at Tonic coming in on that Reinhardt. The Samurai D's there as well. You've got to look at your back though. There is going to be a Brigade there guarding the payload. 3 seconds to go. They need to touch. This is Russia's last chance.
Oh, the shield bash onto Samurai D,
Another
but he's got the Shatter. Here comes the bomb from Chow. He's going to find Claire. The Shatter hits Main, but no one can actually get to him. Finally, they find the pin. They left their backline completely exposed, and Main's going to go down. In fact, take that back, because Japan's backline's pretty exposed also. Kenmo does take out Eng, and the Graviton Surge to lock up mistakes. Overtime burning up. Chow's going to go down. Japan end up defending the third point.
An impressive 3-3 along with the impressive DPS play. Samurai D showing off on that Reinhardt, but of course Tonic also putting on quite a show, using that Primal Rage so effectively in the first part of the third point of Eichenwald. He managed to separate Samurai D from his effectors, from his healers so effectively, because when you have a Brigitte, you have a Lucio, and you have a Zenyatta, the Zenyatta had already used Transcendence, so at that point everyone's a proximity-based healer or weak point healing, which is where you heal only one person. The Harmony Orb from Zenyatta only does 30 healing per second. Lucio's got to go across the map, so does Brigitte, and hit people if they want to be delivering their healing payload onto the Reinhardt. And once that Reinhardt's gone, the shield's gone, that's a lot of beefy targets getting a lot of healing that you can try and farm your ultimates on. And that allowed Russia to keep moving forward. Unfortunately, they were ready. They knew exactly what Shadowburn had planned for that second fight. They managed to shut him down rather quickly.
Well, now it's turn for Japan to go on the offensive and Russia to be on the defense. Now, what's the question? What do they actually do here in terms of defense? Because they could run Shadowburn on fire again. Would make a whole lot of sense. And maybe put mistakes on Tracer. There we go. To just take out Deb. They know he's going to be running it out of spawn. You can't really say, actually, no, he's not going to run the Widow, because Widow can be granted so much space, especially with it against the Pharah, because most tanks are really holding back near the point. You don't want to have, you can't have a Reinhardt in this comp, really. He will be holding up on the gate, defending against these things like Widow. But when you've got Diva and the Winston, not not something you can really do, hold this gate fast, because you become free ult charge at the end of it, because you don't have that permanent shield.
Speaking of mistakes on the Tracer, I want to highlight a really cool play that Japan did on my first point defense when Dep was under pressure from mistakes. They had Kenmo throw up a self-destruct into the air so it would land in the middle of the courtyard, and when Mistakes was desperately trying to chase off Dep because Dep was about half HP, Dep grappled his way across the archway, and when he was followed by Mistakes, Mistakes blinked into the path of the self-destruct and got killed right there. He did not expect it. He was focused so hard on Dep, but he died to that, and that was great defensive play coming out from the side of Japan.
Already Japan moving fairly aggressively. They're actually in the courtyard right now, but be very careful though. They're taking a fair bit of burst damage from Shadowburn, taking a burst damage from Tonic as well, who did manage to get the jump on. Hammerkit does take him out with the help of the Mercy. That damage boost doing a lot of work for the Winston, especially if they don't have any healing on the other end.
Well, you talk about burst damages from Winstons, and that's what can really define a good Winston from a bad Winston, as well as being able to time your dives and know about how to manage your resources like your health and your shield. The accuracy of your leaps, which is one of the main sources of burst damage for you. If you get the leap for 50 and the melee for 30, that's where really good Winstons can shine by having a huge leap accuracy.
Deb having a nice angle here, does headshot Chow in the mech, and Tonic is going to go down. This could be a very big issue here for Russia, as Tonic did die fairly far up, meaning they're probably not going to be able to go for the res. And now Depp has his eyes in the skies, wants to take out Aang and wants to take out Shadowburn. With the help of his D.Va, that could be fairly easy. But right now, Shadowburn playing it perfectly, just around this column, and now he goes on the offensive. Depp having to use that grapple hook away.
Chow already having used for self-destruct. That's going to ward back Japan, and now Tonic's trying to beat out people in this particular small corridor. Samurai stuck from the back.
Beautiful pulse bomb from Mistakes there. Doesn't do as much damage as he used to with the pulse, and is still easy taking out the tanks. There's the duel, the Widow versus Mistakes. Oh no!
Is it tea time?
Oh, apparently it is.
I think as British people, we have the authority on what is and is not tea time, and I think that's two of us voting yes, it is indeed tea time. Mistakes, you can have that one from us.
Have it with a biscuit as well. It's exactly what you did take. Japan still going to move up. They do have that Transcendence, and Amakin, it was in the Hanzo, remember. He's actually on the Pharah now. He already has 83% ult charge.
Zabagod does have a Transcendence ready to go as well, but he's going against the mirror from main. Shadowburn getting in close. You might as well give him a melee, son. He's only got himself one rocket hit, but can't follow it up. And now he has to duck on down. Amakin looking for juicier prey.
Transcendence used, and you can see that Amakin dip back ever so slightly to actually be in the range of the trance to get healed up to full. However, using that fairly early, and they're actually not gaining too much ground from this either. Self-destruct launched onto the point, doesn't quite find anybody. Chow ducked into the fortress there, just managed to get in cover in time. And Main has his own Transcendence to work with as well. Mistakes get taken out by Amakin. Apparently you need to watch the skies, not the ground, my friend. Stop looking at your shiny new shoes. Shadowburn still with the ultimate, but it's going to be extremely hard to use it unless he actually takes out the Pharah. He's going to take out Main in the meantime, though. Shadowburn, you're going to have to do something here. He's off on the edge. Did try and pulse bomb as well, but it just went dip straight over.
The attempt at the Kobe not quite successful this time, but Chow's taken out Claire. This is the chance for Russia to make their counter-attack.
With Chow out of the mech also.
Kenmo, what are you doing?
No! Samurai D with the perfect leap onto Aang, does manage to supply him with the kill. Depp now on the Tracer, does want to match Mistakes in the field. They're going to jump straight onto the point, gives him a little D-bag of his own as well. They do manage to find the cap in just about equal time there.
And we can talk about Depp all day long. We can talk about Anakin, but there it was Japan's tank line who really came in the clutch. They found all the squishies and they evaporated from Jaws, made sure they were there no longer. Tonic here going to be setting himself up on the top right, making sure that he can move onto that cart without investing a movement cooldown, because he can use that to escape instead. Amakin doesn't want to give him any such designs, and he's going to be sending in the rockets, but Shadowburn already taking out both parts of the pharmacy. Get out of there, Japan, you can't stay.
He's getting the 2 for 1, okay, he's lighting up already. We've got Mistakes as well, 2 DPS ultimates now on board for Russia, and they're holding it at the gate. It's the problem now for Japan. They have to push round and actually evade Shadowburn enough to not get pummeled by his rockets. Look at this replay here, Shadowburn in the air, Discord Orb on the Pharah, takes out Claire, makes it look so easy.
Man's a projectile monster, and we may see Depp here move over towards that Widowmaker if we continue to see Shadowburn be so brazen.
That is exactly what you're talking about, not just a moment ago. Saba getting taken out at 50 damage from the Winston leap, and Mistakes now just cleaning house right up to Japan's spawn.
Depp does have that Tracer Bomb ready to go if he decides to use it, but I think he may also put over to the Widowmaker soon. Looks like instead he's going to go over to Brigitte. Doesn't want to worry about the ground war. Instead he's all about Mistakes. Wants to make sure that Savagod and Claire don't have to worry about that Tracer coming in behind them.
Well, Mistake's gonna have to be careful, but you've really got to take out Shadowburn. They have to either send Emiken up there to get a couple of direct body shots, or they have to also just get Kenmo up in the skies too. The Shadowburn right now is just taking a mean chunk out of Russia's offense.
Indeed he is. Emiken falling dangerously low. Will need the healing from Claire, and Mistakes is still in the bag. You can see that Dep's incredibly worried about him. Needs to try and stay back to defend Savagod, but Main's already been taken down. You've got to watch your backline, kids.
Shadowburn in the air again. Ouch. Emiken falls once more. Claire's got the Valkyrie this time, so he's a little bit more safe. That free mobility in the air is going to save him for the time being. Depp is going to find the one-hit combo onto Mistakes as well, but look at Shadowburn. He can play on the ground. He knows he has the cover and the double pocket from Main and Aang. Transcendence used fairly early. Doesn't mean it's a pretty safe barrage. However, most of it does get eaten by the D.Va. Emiken comes in from spawn, gets instantly killed by Shadowburn again. This guy's on fire.
Emiken's just getting outclassed right now. Kenmo's giving it a go, but you're falling a little bit too short. You got to get on there later, my son. Depp going to be trading out with Mistakes. But Mistakes, he left him a parting gift.
He left him with a parting pulsive bomb, and it doesn't mean they're going to secure the kill. And 50 seconds now remain for Japan to make this push.
Indeed it does. They do have a rally ready to go. If they put that onto Savagod, he's going to be incredibly hard for Mistakes to take down because the armor is incredibly effective against small arms fire. That's exactly what you get from Tracer and from Winston. It will effectively half their DPS to 30 DPS from Winston, 120 DPS coming out of Tracer. So we'll have to see if that gets inflicted on Savagod very soon. It's been saved for now.
There it is. There's a rally. They're moving forward. Savagod's only got a little chunk of it. He's going to have to be extremely careful. Nice assault actually on the self-destructing D.Va. Kenmo is going to find Aang in the skies. Okay, this might be good for them. Mistakes finding Savagod. It will be a 1-for-1 trade, but Shadowburn is still more than okay in the air. He doesn't really seem to care that Emiken's there as well because he's landing rocket after rocket. Chao going low, but instant reaction there coming through from Main with the Transcendence. Chao and Tonic, the tanks through from Russia, are just pushing and forcing and corralling them straight into Shadowburn's fire. Overtime ticking down. Mistakes finding Savagod. There's no way they can touch it. Russia even up the series, one apiece.
Message to the entire group here at Incheon Jaws: ignore Shadowburn's Farah at your peril. It will absolutely tear you apart. It will go 1v2 with the pharmacies. You can take Aang down with a self-destruct. Shadowburn don't give a damn. He'll just kill more people.
Oh yes, he will. It didn't even need to use the barrage either. It's very much the time Mistakes was losing DPS as he was using the ultimate because he was getting more kills with the arrows. Already showing up pretty big. One apiece at the moment. And now it is going to be Japan's map choice.
Yeah, it's going to be Japan's map choice as we move into Assault. But I feel like one of the little minutia plays that may well have just sealed it for Japan there was that Depp went so aggressive with the rally rather than sticking back and keeping Savagod in its radius. If he could start building up that armor so he'd have 300 HP, he would have been far less just vulnerable to the attentions of Tonic and Mistakes.
Yeah, we saw Tonic kind of dive the Zenyatta time and time again. He just got instantly deleted, like we mentioned. As soon as that armor does land on the Zenyatta, it will get deleted fairly quickly if you don't have the whole wealth of it. 300 HP with the Zen is just so you can play so aggressive, and you can see why Main was doing such a good job there, getting ult after ult, because he knew his backline had his back. Now, we are going to jump onto the floor. We have Malik with an interview.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm here with Tayo from Team Japan. Now, Tayo, you didn't play in your first half, but I want to know, what was your general overview for how things went?
Actually, I think we couldn't win Eichenwald, but I mean, that was their map pick, so next map's Volskaria, so I think we can win that.
Right, all right. Now, you know, last year you guys came to the Australia, the Sydney stage, and shocked everybody. Not many people expected you guys to win. Coming into this year, do you feel like Japanese Overwatch is being respected a little more, and your team in general is getting more respect from the other teams?
Actually, yeah. So in our contenders, we've actually been winning, and we're in the finals, so I think that we're getting enough recognition at the moment.
Right, you guys are kind of multitasking here a little bit.
Yeah, I guess.
Coming off of that. All right, so what do you guys think you need to do to win this match out in the end here in the second half?
We just need to stay to our basics and what we've been practicing for even the contenders. So if we just play normally, I think we could just win easily.
All right, well, everybody give it up for Tayo. Thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you.
Best of luck for the rest of the match. And with that, guys, it's 1-1. Will it be Team Japan who comes out victorious in this match, or Team Russia? We're going to find out right after the break.